Bill Simmons and Gilbert Arenas both give their takes on the New York Knicks, and we have to talk about it. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel from Knicks Digest. And the podfather himself, Bill Simmons, on one of his more recent episodes had Zach Lowe, and they were talking about what are they most concerned in this upcoming NBA season. Now, they talked about the Lakers, Memphis Grizzlies, the Boston Celtics, but of course, since this is a Knicks YouTube channel, I'm going to be concentrating on what they talked about when they talked about the Knicks. Bill Simmons brought up the fact that Donte Divincenzo and Josh Hart, how much they were able to help out the team, how much they were able to add to the team last season, especially during the playoff run. And then now with all the pickups that we have with trading for Mikal Bridges and re-signing OG Anunoby, Julius Randle coming back healthy, he says something along the lines of he's going to monitor how the whole Donte Divincenzo and Josh Hart coming off the bench, how is that going to work? Are there going to be any rumblings of Donte not being happy, Josh Hart not being happy with the amount of minutes that they're getting, with what they were able to contribute to the team last season? And if we're looking at it from that aspect, I do agree with Bill Simmons. That's something that we really have to take into consideration. But at the same time, why is that something that all of these reporters and all of these NBA talking head shows, why is that something that they always focus on? They're always focusing on how players' attitudes are because of the minutes that they're getting, because of the money they're making, because of the amount of touches that they're getting on the offense. What happened to just being a good teammate? What happened to just, hey, I'm on the team, I love being on the team, and whatever way the coach, whatever way the organization wants me to contribute to this team, I'm going to do. Without any egos, without anything getting in the way. What happened to that? I feel like more and more of these podcasts that I listen to, I feel like more and more of these NBA talking head shows, whether if it's First Take, whether if it's NBA Today, or any of these YouTube shows, they're always talking about NBA players' egos and how they're upset with this and they want to move. What happened to just sacrificing for the team? I don't think that Josh Hart and Donte Divincenzo, I don't think we're going to hear any rumblings of them being upset with the minutes that they're getting because of what they contributed to the team last season. Yes, Josh Hart and Donte Divincenzo, they were able to contribute to the team immensely last year. But this is a new season. This is a new season. We have a very, very special opportunity to make this upcoming season a special one. We haven't been to the Eastern Conference Finals since the 1999-2000 season, and we were able to make it to the NBA Finals where we eventually lost to the San Antonio Spurs. But ever since then, it's been just a complete nightmare. We've had glimpses of a good season here and there, but we haven't had anything consistent. Honestly, since Jalen Brunson got here. When Jalen Brunson got here, first season, we made it to the playoffs. Second season, we make it to the playoffs. And in both those seasons, we made it to the second round. These last two seasons have been the most consistent playoff appearances and going deep in the playoffs that we've seen as Knicks fans since the 90s, honestly. And last season, focusing on Donte Divincenzo first, let's take a look at his numbers, what he averages for points, rebounds, and assists. But I'm going to be looking at the minutes. The minutes he averaged last year was basically 29 minutes flat. So again, like I said, with trading for Mikal Bridges, with the re-signing of OG and Anunoby, the starting five, it's looking to be Jalen at the 1, Mikal or OG is going to be at the 2. You can switch those two. So let's say OG is going to start at the 2. Mikal is going to be at the 3. Julius Randle is going to start at the 4, and Mitchell Robinson is going to start at the 5 for however long he plays until he gets hurt. That's going to be the starting 5. And then we got Josh Hart, Donte Divincenzo, Deuce McBride, Precious Achiuwa, Jericho Sims coming off the bench, Cam Payne, Landry Shamet, with the additions that we made this past offseason. So Donte Divincenzo and Josh Hart, they're definitely going to be the 6th and 7th man coming off the bench. But for the regular season, I don't think Donte and Josh Hart, they're going to average around the same amount of minutes. Donte averaged 29 minutes. Josh Hart, if you take a look here, he averaged 33 minutes. So Josh Hart, well, the numbers that he averaged last season, 9.4 points, 8.3 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and again, 33.4 minutes last season. So Donte at 29 minutes, Josh Hart at 33 minutes. Those numbers are probably going to go down. Of course, barring injury to Mikal or OG, like we got to take that into consideration. And of course, the whole Coach Tibbs running his players into the ground. Even though that's more of a narrative than a proven fact, Yeah, Coach Tibbs has this whole thing going against him that ever since he's started as a head coach with the Chicago Bulls, he's been running his players down, but playing them 40 minutes in the regular season and then ramping up those minutes in the playoffs. And I mean, last season is a really bad example, but he was kind of put in a really bad situation because we were just skeletons out there on the floor. Josh Hart ended up getting hurt. Jalen Brunson, his foot got messed up. Randall, we know what happened. OG Anunoby pulled his hamstring. So the players that he had available, he had to just maximize the potential, and he had to play these guys 45, 48 minutes. But going back to the whole Donte Divincenzo and Josh Hart and their minutes probably dwindling down, so what? So what, man? Josh Hart, Donte, Mikal, Jalen, they're part of a college championship team. They know what it takes to sacrifice and win for something that's bigger than yourself. Win for your teammates. Now, this is the NBA. This is obviously on a whole different level. Even though they're proven winners in the college world, the NBA is a different animal. But we've seen what Donte, Josh Hart, and Jalen Brunson, what they were able to do with just those three. But now we're going to add another Villanova component, the Mikal Bridges. So there's just a lot of things that we got to keep an eye out for this upcoming season. Julius Randle, Josh Hart, Donte DiVincenzo. There's just a lot of storylines that are going to be coming up this upcoming season. The reporters, the talking head shows, they're going to try and spin whatever narrative into a negative one to get more storylines to come up. And hopefully the storylines that they do bring up aren't going to be real, aren't going to be true. And hopefully when I put out a recap video of the season, it'll be a good one. Okay, so now moving on from Bill Simmons, I want to move on to Gil's Arena. On one of his more recent episodes, Gilbert Arenas was talking about the New York Knicks, and he kind of shared the same sentiment with Bill Simmons, talking about Josh Hart and Donte DiVincenzo and the minutes, and there's probably going to be a problem. Listen, man, I watch Gil's Arena. That show is very entertaining, but Gilbert Arenas is super annoying. He's talking about people having to sacrifice, people are having to not be selfish. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, when were you ever not selfish? Time and time again, he's always talking about sticking up for the players and always trying to go get yours. And I don't know, man. He's just super annoying, and everybody just yelling on that show. Like I said, it's entertaining, but it could be super annoying. One thing he did say, though, that I do agree with is what people aren't really focusing on is Tibbs. And this episode, he was talking about how Coach Tibbs is going to have a hard time with this upcoming season finding the minutes, finding the rotations, and when they get into the playoffs, finding the best lineup that's going to maximize the potential. And that is something that I'm keeping my eye on for this season because, like I keep saying time and time again, this is the first legit opportunity that we've had to make a serious, deep playoff run. And what I mean by that, I mean Eastern Conference Finals appearance. Since when? The 1999-2000 season, like I said earlier in the Bill Simmons segment. Coach Tibbs, man, if you look at his history, since he became a head coach, now when he was an assistant with the Boston Celtics and he was the defensive coach and he helped KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen to win the championship. I'm talking about when he was a head coach with the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, you can make the argument that Derrick Rose, once he went out with the injury, that completely messed up the trajectory of that team and the franchise. But Derrick Rose, before his injuries started happening, he had maybe like 3-4 seasons on the Coach Tibbs belt. And in those 3-4 seasons, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals once, where they ended up getting smacked by the Miami Heat, or the Heatles, I should say, in 5. And ever since then, what has Coach Tibbs done? Minnesota Timberwolves, he was there for maybe 2-3 seasons, made a playoff appearance. They ended up losing in the first round to the Houston Rockets. From Minnesota, he came to the Knicks, and we know what his resume is with the Knicks. Coach Tibbs, man, is Coach Tibbs the man for the job? I'm not sure. I can't answer that question. This upcoming season, barring injury, barring anything crazy happening, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm worried for Coach Tibbs because I do have confidence in him, and I have confidence that he'll find out the right rotations, the minutes, and all that stuff. I'm just worried that something is going to happen that's going to get in the way of Coach Tibbs really getting the flowers that he deserves. Like I said earlier, barring injury, barring anything happening, trades, I'm not sure if Coach Tibbs is the man for the job. Do I have confidence in him? Yes. I think he is going to be the one to lead us to a very successful season this upcoming season, which is an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. I think it's going to happen this season. But of course, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know what's going to happen. Injuries, trades, I don't know. All I know is what I keep saying time and time again, that after the Boston Celtics, the Eastern Conference, it's open season. You got Philly, New York, Milwaukee, of course, Miami. You got all those teams vying for that second spot. And yeah, the Knicks have a legit opportunity to be the second best team in the Eastern Conference. And on top of that, they have a legit opportunity to scare the Boston Celtics, to threaten the Boston Celtics of coming out of the Eastern Conference. But guys, that's it for today's video. I want to say thank you so much for checking it out. Make sure to leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about Bill Simmons talking about the Knicks, Gilbert Arenas talking about the Knicks. Do you guys agree with them? Are you guys totally against it? Leave it in the comments. But until next time, you guys know the drill. You know the vibes. Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs. The deuce is loose for co-MVP. Taj Gibson, of course, I'll never forget about you, for president. And Mikal Bridges for Defensive Player of the Year. And until next time, I'll check you out in the next video. Let's go Knicks, baby. Peace.